Hello, hello, boyos and girlos. This is Kirby over yonder, and today we will be taking a look back at the top five forgotten cartoons. Um, which was I'm pretty sure over a year ago at this point. Um, this one was fun because I got to take a look at a lot of cartoons that not very many people talk about. Um, and I always like doing that. So, yeah, it was pretty fun. Pretty cool. Yeah. So number five was Beavis and Butthead, which isn't it isn't like it's kind of well known. It's kind of one of those cartoons that most people generally know about, but not a lot of people really talk about. So I guess it wasn't super qualified to be on this list, but I was kind of judging it in um how much I hear people talk about these cartoons. Um, so yeah, Beavis and Butthead is kind of debatable for a list like this, but I didn't see a lot of people put it on their list of forgotten cartoons, so I thought it'll probably make this list a bit more unique. But yeah, I could never really. I talked about this one in cartoons I dislike that other people like, but I never really got into it. I don't know, it just kind of felt dumb to me, which I guess was the point, was that it was dumb, but it was never really clever with how stupid it was. It's just kind of like, they make a bad joke and then they laugh at it and that's just kind of it. I don't know. It always just looked very gross, the characters and um even like the world that they live in looks really gross. And I don't know. I'm not a very big fan of this. I know a lot of people are, and props to you if you do really like the show. But I don't know. I was never a fan. Um, Number four was Dan versus, and Dan versus is always a fun show to talk about. Um, I guess just because it can be both very hate filled and very fun at the same time. Um, so it's just always kind of fun, a fun show to watch and to talk about and stuff. And also because not a lot of other people talk about it. Um, so I guess the problem with Dan versus is that it definitely aired on the wrong channel. I feel like the Hub was not a good channel for it. I feel like Adult Swim or FOD or even Netflix would have been a much better home for Dan versus because um it's kind of like regular show in that you can tell it really wants to be an adult cartoon, but it can't, and there's really nothing in this cartoon that really appeals to kids. Um, so I feel like it would have been much better as an adult cartoon. I mean, I still think it's a great show either way, but I don't know. I feel like as an adult cartoon, it really could have shined brighter, I guess, and I'm sure a lot of people would remember it more if it were on Adult Swim or Netflix. And I'd honestly be really open to seeing it be brought back as an adult cartoon. Uh, I mean, put it on Netflix, like I'd watch that. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, I still do love the show, but I feel like it would have had better opportunity if it weren't an adult cartoon. But what you gonna do? Um, Number three, the Samsonadzes. Oh yes, this one I talked about in worst cartoon ripoffs, and excuse me, I have a bit of a stuffy nose. Um, I've talked about this one in worst cartoon ripoffs, and yeah, this one. um, I kind of wish people would talk about this one more because it's so just dumb. Like it's Simpsons, but it's Georgian, And like apparently the fact that it takes place in Georgia makes it like a completely different show from The Simpsons. Like okay, yeah, sure. Um it's just really funny to me. Um and the animation was awful and the character designs were awful. Like the show is equivalent to Bart looks so weird. Um and I don't know, maybe the writing was really good. I obviously couldn't tell because I can't speak Georgian, but um, it was a bad, just a bad ripoff of The Simpsons, and it's always just kind of fun to to rip on it. Um, Number two was Bounty Hamster, which I actually hadn't watched before I made this video. But I think I haven't actually watched it in a while. Um, but I think I watched the first 7 episodes for this, and I think it's really cool. Um, it's very different from most other cartoons I've really seen, and um, and it has a very cool art style, and yeah, I really liked it. It reminded me a little bit of Futurama, but not a whole lot. Uh, it was very much its own original, unique thing, and I have a lot of respect for that. And also, I like space, so the fact that it takes place in space, wow, I didn't even mean to. I didn't even mean to say that. Takes place in space. Oh boy, um, the fact that it takes place in space is really cool. Um, and I like, I'm a sucker for sci-fi adventures and stuff. Um, and this show is really cool. Um, and yeah, should probably watch more of this one because it's really cool. Uh, and number one was Clone High, which, in my opinion, is definitely one of the better adult cartoons out there. Um, because it's it's not just stupid raunchy humor. There's some raunchy, even not really that raunchy. I guess just kind of slightly shocking jokes in there, but my nose, it's so stuffy and annoying. Um, it, it has a little bit of that, but for the most part, its humor is very smart, and it has character development, and there are story arcs. Uh, and there's only 13 episodes. I would have loved, seeing the show evolve, but you know, what you gonna do? Um, but I do really like this show. I I think the concept of a high school for clones of famous historical people, like that's really cool. That's a very creative concept, and the soundtrack is good, is really good, and the voice acting is good, and the animation is really cool. A really cool comic book kind of style to it. Um, eh, my nose. um, yeah, I'm a big fan of this show, and I really wish more people knew about it because I think it's one of the best adult cartoons out there. Ah, my nose. Um, and yeah, it's just a very good show in my opinion, and I really like it, and I think it's good, and thumbs up from me. I don't know. Um, and yeah, that's about all I have to say about the forgotten cartoon list. Again, I had fun making it because I got to talk about some cartoons that not a lot of other people talk about. So that made it very unique, and yeah, I don't know, egg salad, I guess. Um, yeah, that's about it. Uh, Have yourselves a good one, and Kirby out.